Hello, good morning, welcome. I am Jones Hussein and glad to have you at the television. Now, this Saturday, the people of Anambra State in Nigeria's southeast will be going to the polls to determine who governs the state for the next 4 years. And with 21 local governments, but 37 governorship candidates, it promises to be a battle royale. Again, for a state that has produced unassailable fests in the history of the country, you wonder how it's possible for it to keep up with ugly politics, if you permit that. From the great Zeke through Emeka Anyoku, the inimitable Udumego Ojukwu, not to mention, not to forget Achebe, and so on and so on. The state has produced a number of fests. So where is the problem? What's the trouble with Anambra political-wise, or politics-wise? I have this morning two gentlemen. The one is an Anambrarian to broach the subject matter. Writer, political analyst, and biographer Tochukwu Ezukama is Anambra. Good morning, welcome.
Thank you very much, this is Jones.
Yeah. Ziggy Ibe is a neighbor. What do I mean? He's Enugu State. Yep. He's a public affairs analyst and a businessman. I would have been surprised. Yeah. But he talks politics too.
Sure,
welcome.
It's a pleasure being here.
In the course of the program, we'll take you to Anambra State in a manner of speaking. We have our correspondents there. We'll hook up with one of them and tell you about updates. Before then, let's find out. Tochukwu, how do you look ahead to Saturday?
Well, Jones, I'll tell you, I'm very optimistic about Saturday. I think we've come a long way. One thing we have to give to the federal government and INEC is that over the time the electoral process improved in Nigeria. There might still be irregularities here and there, but it's not as it used to be in the past when there was so much impunity, like what are you going to do about it? But over the years, the courts showed that they can do something about it. And the Nigerian masses spoke out in opposition to just disregard for the people's will. So I think the election in Anambra will go well. There may be irregularities here and there, but there will not be outright impunity. There will not be outright rigging. So I'm very optimistic about the election on the 18th.
Ziggy, he just mentioned the courts, and for us who remain on the sidelines and watching political
we are watching at the sidelines.
So allowing the courts to determine who assumes office and not the ballot box is disturbing.
It's a dangerous precedent, and that, I hope, wouldn't happen. Maybe that might be reasons why so many aspirants are not backing down for other people as a consensus candidate. But that being as it is, we wait for the outcome of the elections to come. Like he said, yes, we've not had any issue as we speak, and I hope there will not be. You know, INEC, I hope, would get their ass right. And as we step into it boldly 2 days to come, I hope all will be as quiet as it has been. It's commendable so far. So as we delve into the discussion proper, we will begin to look into the goings-ons as it will be on Saturday.
Yeah. Ezukama, we cannot leave out three things. Let's take them one by one. Godfatherism.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
It's still there. Mm-hmm. So it will play out in your Anambra State.
Godfatherism.
37 candidates for just one office. You know.
Yeah, but there are 5 major candidates. Actually, to me, there are 3 major candidates. And that's Obiano of APGA, who is presently the governor. This Obaze of PDP and Tony Moye of APC. Those are the 3 major candidates as far as I'm concerned.
May I puncture that?
Yes, you can.
UPP is presenting Osita Chiloka.
Yeah, there is one of them.
He's another large figure.
You couldn't wish
He's
him
another
away.
large figure.
No, I'm not wishing him away, but I'm talking about the 3 main contestants. UPP does not have the machinery, does not have the wealth, does not have the spread to elect or to give us a governor. But those three are the three most important things. There will always be godfatherism in every election. There will always be the powers behind the throne. But the question is, what are the motivations of these godfathers? Do they want to steal and tear down the state, and therefore wants to put an expert thief there who will perfect the act of stealing? To lie? I'm not saying that's what they're doing. I'm asking a question. Is that what they want to do?
What a question.
Or are they those that want to build up the system, and therefore they are looking for the best man there that will serve the people, the public good, just for the betterment of everybody? I'm talking about two contending extremes. I'm not saying that's what they want to do or what they don't want to do. So as if the godfathers have wonderful interests.
Yeah, a godfather has a reason for sponsoring you.
So if is his reason...
It's like an investment.
Is his reason the public good of my private pocket? There are reasons, wonderful reasons. We are all motivated by interests. Some interests are wonderful for the generality of the people, and some of our interests work against the entire system. So the question is, what is it that interesting or motivating the godfathers? But the godfathers will always be there.
Ziggy, another factor is the Biafra agitation. In the build-up to the election, you had IPOB was threatening brimstone and all
yesterday they came up with another report that they will not allow the election to go ahead, that Buhari's visit will not determine who comes to vote. That is, to me, is childish, because so far, like we've been saying, if the IPOB wanted someone who would rule the state from their own end, they should have fielded a political party who would get their own person. But now they couldn't do so until they were proscribed. Right now, we've had different reports whether they would continue in the agitation or not. But I would tell them that, look, the state is free to run free, fair, and credible election. And they should not step into the fray because it wouldn't favor them.
Intra-party disagreement is also on the cards. I don't know who talked about a consensus now.
I did. But
intra-party
yes,
squabbles and so on.
You see, I don't know why that is always associated with Igbos. By now, I think 37 parties, then 21 local government. That is alarming. By now, I should have thought some people should have stepped down for other people to go ahead. But you see, most times we've seen the Igbos in this way of, I no go gree. You know, because to me, it's too large for just a position to be contended by 37 candidates. By now, it should be being streamlined to one or two. Like he said, okay, if you talk about 3 major political parties, Osita Shidoka is a man to beat. The man has so many. So you make it 4. Yes, you make it 4. And some other Peter's child is there. You know, Peter Doche's son. You know, so, okay. Yes. He's in the running. He's in the running. There are too many, like you said, there are 37 persons running. But who are the major contenders? Yeah, and don't forget, some of these people, their feeling now would be going to judiciary. The moment the election did not go their own way, then they would resort to electioneering courts. And that will not augur well. That will still make the place very ungovernable for the elected person for such a long time. And before the person could set his feet on the ground, it becomes so many years he hasn't done anything.
Yeah, right.
Before you know it, it's close to another electioneering time.
Okay, just before the break, might I prompt you now?
Yes.
Izukama, you are a son of the soil.
Yes.
And so in Nigerian politics, you cannot remove the incumbency factor.
Sure,
So Willie Obiano,
Who has all the mites.
And the war chest.
Yes.
Yes, he stands a very good chance. Another thing is that Willie Obiano is from the senatorial north. I think, what do they call it? Northern
Anambra North.
Anambra North.
Yes.
And the people of Anambra South are expecting that at the end of his tenure, the new governor will come from Anambra South. So most likely they will vote for him, the people of Anambra South, because they want to give him 4 more years and finish with him. And then the governor will come from their area. That's why Obaze is saying, if I'm elected, because he's also from the north, if I'm elected, I will only serve 1 term. But nobody believes that. So he has the support of his people, north, and support of the south, who want him to finish. So I think it stands a very good chance.
Yes.
And there's the internal squabble in PDP is just is enervating the party. It's not allowing the party to move forward. And then Tony Nwoye has a bad rap, and is being supported by another discredited godfather.
In your estimation?
I can only speak for myself.
No, it's all right.
Yes. So it stands a very good chance. Obiano stands a very good chance.
Yes, but then Willie Obiano has a lot to contend with.
Yeah.
Because in the recent past, we've had a lot of damning reports against him. You know, that is not far-fetched from politicking. But then, if some works he has done could be felt, you know, people, I'm sure, will not be, this uproar will not be there. So there is no ready-made ground for him to really walk to victory.
Yeah, but sorry, not meaning to interject needlessly. In Nigeria, I think in the 21st century, we should have outgrown this thing about, oh, he has built roads. Building roads is not a dividend of democracy. Ziggy.
No. Yeah.
Creating an enabling environment for in this case, Anambrarians to rise and shine would be the main thing.
Yeah, but it is the issues of our political terrain.
I'm sorry, the back room is saying we must go on break. So we'll go on this break and come back. It is still Anambra State on our minds. It goes to the polls on Saturday. Please stick around. Okay then, welcome back. Anambra goes to the polls this Saturday, as I told you. But we have our foot soldiers there. One of them is Ayo Ozugbakun. Ayo, good morning to you. Ayo, are you there?
Jones.
Welcome,
Yes,
Ayo.
good morning, Jones.
Okay then. Oh, beautiful setting you have there. Please confirm your location.
Yes, I'm in Oka, the state capital of Anambra State.
And what can you report? What can you report?
Hello, Jones.
Yeah, what can you report from Oka?
Yes, today is the final day of the campaign, and all the major political parties, they are dotting their I's and crossing the T's, and they are all over the place canvassing for votes. You can see motorcades everywhere, and each of these political parties trying to canvass for votes, because by the time it's 12 midnight tonight, they won't be able to do so further. So, talking about the Independent National Electoral Commission, about this time, from the Central Bank of Nigeria, the sensitive materials, you know, anytime we have elections there, we have sensitive and non-sensitive materials. Now, those non-sensitive materials are those ballot boxes, those ballot boxes, the hardware that you are going to use for election in over 4,000 polling units. But the sensitive material is that paper, that is the result sheet and that ballot paper that indicates 37 candidates that will be vying for election on Saturday. So a lot of these political parties, they are going to go to INEC, and they are going to make sure they escort INEC to CBN, and the INEC will take it from here. It will be sent well guarded, well secured, will be sent to the 21 local governments you have in Anambra State. And INEC is telling us that they've deployed over 6,000 card readers to the 4,215 polling units. And INEC is saying that if they are to score their job 100%, their work schedule, that since they started from the registration of voters till this time, that they will say they've done 96% of their job, and the 4% is to conduct election. What is Professor Mahmoud saying? He's saying we are ready to conduct the election. Nothing will change that date. All is set for Saturday's election. Talking in terms of security, you have over 26,000 policemen that will be manning the length and breadth of the 21 local governments here in Anambra State. And so that they are going to be assisted by Nigerian Security Defense, and they're going to the Department of State Security and some other paramilitary agencies that are going to collaborate with the police. And police is going to spearhead the security of this election. The DIG operations particularly has been deployed, and deploying the DIG operations, what they are saying is that they've already relocated the commissioner of police that was here before, pending the time of the election. He has been asked to resume in Abuja, and they brought 3 new commissioners of police that is going to man the 3 senatorial districts. The same thing they are doing for all the DPOs and area commander. They want to change all the security formation ahead of this election to make sure no party has reached out to those security that connived with political parties. They are bringing fresh people, and they've done well in the sense that they have even given members of the public the phone numbers of all these DIJs, Commissioner of Police, and DPOs across board.
Thank you. Let's quickly confirm this. Please confirm to us that the security details of Governor Willie Obiano have been restored.
I can confirm that to you. Yes, I can confirm that to you. It was just his ADC that was withdrawn. His ADC was withdrawn, and the stakeholders meeting we had on Tuesday, Obiano come to the stakeholders meeting and informed us that this has happened to him. Unfortunately, the IG wasn't seated because Governor Obiano said he came to the stakeholders meeting to confront the IG. Why was that done? So when the governor left, the IG came back, and IG said the ADC, he withdrew the ADC because of, past elections, the role of the ADCs to governors that they played, and he made particularly mention of River State, that the role they played during election that is not palatable. That was the reason he gave for withdrawing it. So yesterday, when the president came to Alex Ikweme Square, so the governor came to meet the president, and I think he complained directly to the president, and the president immediately directed the Inspector General of Police to restore the ADC of Governor Obialo. They are painting a picture. It's as if it's all the security that was withdrawn. No, it's just the ADC. And the ADC of Governor Willie Obiano has been restored as I'm talking to you, Jones.
I'm thankful about that, and this is the advantage of the electronic media. I'm wondering the picture. 37 governorship candidates crisscrossing 21 local governments. Can you feel anything like that?
Now, you see, anytime we have election like this and we have 37 candidates, for some of us that we are experienced in election coverage, we know that, look, out of these 37 candidates, those people that you can really say they're on ground in terms of structure, in terms of, the way they are campaigning and everything, I would mention just 4 political parties that are actually in this race. It will require an offset from anybody outside the 4 political parties. And when I'm talking about the 4 political parties, I'm talking about the Incumbency, that is the All Progressive Alliance, the People's Democratic Party, the All Progressive Congress, of course, that the president came yesterday, and the former Corps Marshal General of the Road Safety, that's Chidoka. So those are the 4 people that a lot of people are saying that, okay, when push comes to shove, it's going to be from this 4 candidates, because the rest have been quiet. Yes, they might have their strongholds in talking in terms of spread and talking about the areas they've been able to cover, you know, financial strength, reaching out, having delegates across those 4,000 polling units. It requires a lot of war chest. And when you're looking at the political parties that are actually on ground in Anambra State, I can put it at 4. So I would narrow it down at those 4 political parties. Since I got here on Monday, I've been observing, I've been talking to Okada riders, I've been talking to people that look, and they've been mentioning these 4 names across the board.
We'll leave it there for the moment. And if there's anything to report before we close the show, you definitely would come back. Thank you for your time. All right then, still this morning on TVC, we'll take a little breather and come back. All right, then, glad you're still there. Anambra on our mind. The state goes to the polls this Saturday. One office, 37 contenders, but we're told 4 frontliners. So it's a 4-legged race. But then let's go back to what Ayo just told us from. He is the man on the spot. The information pushed out the first time was so wrong, so misleading. The impression was created that the IG unilaterally removed all the security details of the governor. Now we know it was wrong. So the picture is a lot better.
It's clearer.
Yes.
Yeah, but I don't think the media, they did well. That report, it wasn't like we are hearing it for the first time. We've been reading that his security details were removed. But then, some papers equally reported that it was just only his ADC that was taken.
So it's your social media now.
Yeah, you know, so they bloated it, and
okay.
I don't think.
Tochukwu, Nigerians are yet to be circumspect when they hear stories like this.
Yeah.
You don't want to second check.
It flies because, you know,
well, the masses are
just,
gullible. They just grab whatever information you give them. And also the people, the average man on the street does not trust the system, so has this tendency to just accept any news that is not complementary of the powers that be.
So there's a particular type of news Nigerians will be expecting at a given time, and so some folks somewhere must push it out.
Yeah.
Let's go to Ndigbo, the Ndigbo country.
Yes.
Before we came back on, I talked about regional parties. The Action Congress started out as AD. It was very popular in the Southwest. ABGA went into this, joined the fray. We expected ABGA to be very strong southeast of the Niger. But after a while, it tapered off. What do you think is wrong?
Recently, I wrote something, and I'm happy the rest.
Social media?
Yes. And
you expected people to believe that?
Yes, and people responded positively.
Okay.
You see, it's a known fact. We have 3 major political parties in the country. Sorry, 2. ABGA would have been the 3rd one, which is 4, unquote, Easterners. As we speak, whether you like it or not, APC is for the Southwest. The original formation.
No, propelled by the Southwest.
Yes, AC, you know, for
then the
metamorphosed to,
and then the
APC, a larger house now.
Yeah.
PDP was formed by the Northerners. Then other states were asked to marry into it. ABGA sprang up with Ojuzo Carlos party.
PPA. At the time.
At the time. And that party would have done better, would have done so well if it was nurtured. PPA.
But let's also tell you, Godwin Ezemo is representing the PPA here.
Yes. Okay, but it's not popular, just like we are just mentioning 4 political parties. So that is, yes, it's in the picture, but it's not popular. PPA was formed few months to election. And don't forget, it made a very wonderful stride. Produced a governor. Two good governors. Ojuzo Okal himself, who formed it, and Ojuzo Theodore.
You folks,
eventually it was.
Just a minute.
It died.
We have provoked an Mwabweze from Owerri, so we take Mwabweze in. Welcome. How are you? Mwabweze, are you there?
Yeah. I'm on the line.
Okay then.
Yeah. I'm on the line. Can I come?
Yeah.
Okay, go on.
Yeah. Okay, good day.
Sir.
The issue, I'm seeing the issue where you people are advocating in the tele. And my contribution is the way they had the Willie Obiano security is very bad. It's unfair. It has any atom of security to remove from Willie Obiano.
No, sir. Sir, I won't let that go. The information was twisted. Let me make it clear. Only hold on. One was only the ADC to Governor Willie Obiano was removed, but he's been replaced. He's back.
Yes, my topic is later to Obiano.
Are you on? Are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Go ahead.
It is not okay. Please make your point. Time.
As far as you people return it, it's very good.
Not you people, sir. It is not you people. It is his ADC has been returned. Please. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So the thing about
we're talking about ABGA and all that.
ABGA. The thing is that ABGA was led by Ojukwu. One thing about Ojukwu as of then was he wasn't as active. He was getting old and not very healthy. So I think he did his best with the party, and the party at first started well. He did well in Anambra State, and then went again and won in Imo. One was is that the name?
I forgot just before the current.
I forgot the name. Yeah. Won the election, but when INEC cancelled the election, he went in for a second election and lost. He should have refused and just stuck to his earlier victory, and the court would have upheld it. And again, he came back. ABGA still did well with Rogers. Rogers is excited with ABGA in Enugu and Ebonyi. ABGA didn't do well, but I think they had a lot of support in Anambra, Imo, and Abia. But with the death of Ojukwu and no other powerful, a man like Obi had the clout, but he joined PDP.
Yeah, but you talked about Ojukwu being sickly towards the end and had become weak and so on. Take it back, further back. Chief Obafemi Awolowo was old, was elderly in the Unity Party days, but he still held sway.
Yes.
So would you now, in retrospect, say Ojukwu was not a rallying point for Ndigbo?
It was a rallying point. Ojukwu was a rallying point. But a rallying point can also be stimulated, galvanized. It was there. And you can't compare what happened in the West with what happened in the East.
Anayo is here from Benue State. Anayo, good morning to you. Welcome. Hello, Anayo. Are you there?
Hello?
Yeah, welcome, Anayo.
My contribution in this program is about the LTC of our governor, Mr. Willie Obiano. Understand? So the duty of IT is all about the security of the team. It's not about removing any security. That man is a contestant. He has every right to have any security he wants. Understand? So, thank God for the senators that they have told him that he should that they should give him his ADC back. Understand? Because with the other ADC, I believe that they are planning they are planning to steal that election in Onitsha. Understand? So,
I find it difficult to understand, but you are telling me. Let me hear.
So that is my contribution.
Oh, okay then.
The thing is this, after the war, Igbo land became a different place from Yoruba land. There was a power structure built from the 40s, 50s, continued into the 60s, 70s. So even as Awolowo aged, the power structure was intact. Awolowo and his lieutenants held sway of Yoruba land. Why couldn't that be built? But in Igbo land, the power structure was there in the earlier days. But when Ojukwu came, he dismantled the power structure, shoved the old politicians aside, tried to build his own, and his own collapsed with the war. So there was no power structure, political, established power structure in Igbo land, so it was everybody on your own. So it made it harder for Ojukwu to elsewhere, to have a central authority over you or whoever. That's what happened. So it was, you can't compare the two circumstances.
Yeah, you are going to say?
Yes. Abga, supposed to be an Igbo.
Sorry, quickly, let me take Judge Ikeja. Welcome, good morning. Yes, George, you are online.
Yeah, okay, can you hear me?
Yeah, you are on, yeah.
All right. Citizen John, I'm concerned with this issue of withdrawal of the governor's...
he has been restored, sir. He has been restored, yeah.
I know that, but my concern there is the way the Senate took it. The Senate did start Senate part, and they went ahead to pass a motion terminating the act. This is the same thing that the Senate did when they wanted to impeach the president. They said that there was no president in the country, the vice president was not in the country. While they were moving a motion, the vice president was in the State House. What kind of Senate do we have? Are they not supposed to take action based on facts with all the distinguished thoughts claimed? This is my concern. This is just what I want to express.
Okay. Many thanks. Gentlemen, so we talk about our democracy still being a nascent one, even at 18 going 19 years.
Yeah, we are
how
still
more
evolving.
Nascent, how more evolving can we be?
We are still evolving, and nobody will fault that because given our own peculiar environment. Like we've been talking about the kind of views we hold. Like you heard, people are still talking about withdrawal of aide-de-camp of a governor, even when it was reported that the person has been restored. We are still talking about it. You know, the IG had given his own reasons why he did it. That from the previous experiences he had, aide-de-camps help their principals to help, you know.
Themselves.
Yeah.
I have a Korafo in faraway Arochukwu. How are you, sir? Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Joseph. That's a comrade master program. You see, Trump election comes up a day. People in the state should go out and vote and be voted for. Ignore IPOD. That is nonsense. IPOD cannot stop this election. Obiano and other contenders should tell their supporters to maintain. What we need here is proper election. No question of going to the youth. Say no to ballot boxing disappearance and commotion and confusion in any place. Our security agencies, please be more proactive in your job there. School children under age should not be allowed to be still around the station. Now, you said that 37 candidates are contesting for election. That is 37 political parties. Now you ask yourself, what are the intentions of others? Mention only 4 political parties. Other ones now, what are their intentions? Because outside of there, maybe it's a market. Maybe it's a market. Let us go and try our luck. Thank you very much, and I wish Anambra to a successful and fruitful election. God bless all of us. Thank you very much.
Bless you too. Gentlemen, so we laid the ABGA, PDP and all that to rest, at least on the show for today. Now, we cannot forget this. let me paint this picture.
Yes.
Ndi Igbo appears not to be favorably disposed to the dominance of the Hausa Fulani, yet they embrace the PDP even till tomorrow, and ABGA, which is supposed to be their own, which would have been a trump card,
is rejected.
Is rejected.
So
is
it's
that,
a pain. That the
yeah.
the point I was making earlier before now. Going to patronize another person's product wouldn't make your own better. ABGA to me should have been Igbo-made product. Just like PDP, whether you like it or not, is not. APC is Southwest. So I don't know why Igbos...
Say Ndi Igbo.
Yes, why Ndi Igbo are not...
Sounds better to me.
Why Ndi Igbo are not really building their own structure. Because when you build ABGA, it becomes a dynasty. It becomes a house where all Ndi Igbo falls to and would use take as their own. But right now, the Igbos don't seem to see it. Because if Obiano, let me sound this morning, sir. If Obiano did not win this election,
or does not,
if he was voted out, there will be problem with ABGA. That means just like Labour Party and other parties, that is the end of ABGA.
Yeah.
And that will spell is a big doom to Igbos.
Tochukwu, I was going to say, cross the Niger Bridge from Asaba, you know, hold on, from Asaba into Onitsha. What greets you is a giant statue of Ojukwu. On top of it, ABGA, Nkabu Nkai.
Okay, but Jones, the thing is this. You sell a party to a people, okay? The masses need to be guided. They need to be led. They need to be dazzled, okay? So the thing is this. PDP is an Hausa-dominated party, but very accepted in Igbo land. They sold themselves to the Igbos. APC is an Hausa-dominated, Yoruba-dominated party, which would have been more readily sellable. It's not just Hausa-dominated, but Hausa and Yorubas. And the Igbos undoubtedly have more in common than the Yorubas and Hausas. We all know that. But it has not been sold to the Igbos. Buhari came to power. And from his earlier, well, what people thought of him earlier.
Talk about body language and all
but
that.
that's the word, body language. And his appointments. The Igbos believe this is an Hausa party that wants to Islamize Nigeria. It may not be true, but that's the impression. So ABGA might be a wonderful party built for the Igbos, designed for the Igbos, but was unsuccessfully sold to the Igbo. And one factor is that Ojukwu did not do a good job because he had lacked the resources, he lacked the good health. There were a number of factors that impeded Ojukwu's ability to sell ABGA.
It has nothing to do with the Agwa Lori Beya thing. It's dog eat dog.
No. So, and Nigeria has always been a two-party system. The Igbos are not losing anything because they don't have a regional party. Yorubas today have no regional party, but I don't see what they are losing. In the First Republic, we had this alliance that brought about ABGA and NNA, two parties.
ABGA then.
I'm sorry.
No,
ABGA, United Progressive.
ABGA came from ABGA.
Yeah. So we had ABGA, we had NNA. The parties came together. In Second Republic under Shagari, we tried PPA or PPP versus against NPN.
Yeah.
So it's always been like that. Nigeria will always be a two-party system. There will be two major parties at every time contending for power.
Yeah.
So the Igbos will be wonderful if we have a regional party, but without it, we can still do well. Our problem is political myopia.
Otherwise, I was going to prompt the question, are you doing well now?
No, we can't be doing well.
We can do well.
No,
we can do well.
But you are not doing well now.
We are not doing well now. If, like I said before,
what are you leaving undone?
Because we don't have one mind. That's what is needed by all Ndi Igbo, to have a regional party. When ABGA, look, do you know what further would puncture Obiano's victory? Recently, I think yesterday or day yesterday, the Odumego Ojukwu Jr. decamped to APC.
All right.
And what was his reason?
Yeah.
His reason was that his father's spirit was not kept alive.
Okay. Let me take Nai quickly from Jos in Plateau State. Are you there? Good morning.
Hello, good morning, sir.
How do you do?
This is Manny from Jos.
Okay, then.
And I would like to say that for a long time, the Igbo man has continually been the problem and the architect of the gun problem. Why am I saying that? They keep crying marginalization, but we discover they are the ones marginalizing themselves. Like your panelist rightly said, their own APGA has been marginalized by their own people. They have not set an agenda for Nigeria, what they really want to achieve. And unless they put their act and their house together, they will continually have problems. For the IPOD that are threatening that the election will not go on, I hope the good people of Anambra State will rise up to the task and let these people know and let them circumspect their action. If not, they will have a bigger problem to deal with and they may not be able to handle their house. We wish they will wake up and then tell themselves the truth so that they will not come telling us Nigerians that they are being marginalized while they are the architects of their problems.
Many thanks.
Thank you.
Many thanks. Coming from a lady, I'm sure she made a top impression.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Ojukwu son decamped to another party.
Yes,
in Yoruba land, in Hausa land, people decamp every day from one party to another. So what is wrong with Ojukwu's son decamping from APGA to APC? Absolutely nothing.
I'm looking at his message. He has a message. Why did you decamp? He said the APGA was formed and nurtured by his dad. I'm sure he was following the footsteps of the dad. I'm not looking at him, but I'm looking at all he said. Now, Obiano, who's supposed to hold a flame, the APGA torch,
Yeah.
dimmed it since he was elected, only for him to now start beaming the torch again when the election was near. And the son said, all this while, we've not seen any my father's insignia or anything that reflects that my father was promoting this party.
Yeah.
Because look, if we say Ojukwu is a son Igbo had produced and being believed by all, what Ojukwu says will stand in Igbo, even at his death. Then, look at it this way. In Yoruba land, their leaders, you don't touch, you don't talk against them.
In Yoruba land?
In Yoruba, yes, in Yoruba land. In Igbo.
But I don't know. I hope a Yoruba.
Obasanjo and Abiola were watching
recently, some time ago, Oba of Yoruba said the Igbos would enter Lagoon if they did
One of the Obas.
One of the Obas.
Yeah.
And you remember, nobody there say anything against it. But Igbo, recently, I'm coming, sir. Recently,
but if you display what we are talking about here, then you have nailed the
Kano talked back at the Obi of Onitsha, who's supposed to be one of the paramount rulers in Igbo land. Talked at him and said, look, we have no right whatsoever to say anything about IPB. You don't find out in Yoruba. You don't find that in Hausa.
Let's quickly take Daniel in Abuja. Daniel, are you there?
Gentlemen, good day, gentlemen. You're doing a very wonderful job. My beloved CDC.
Thank you.
I want to make a very straightforward contribution. I think the incident that happened in Anambra yesterday is a very welcome one. People who have played what we call regional politics for a very long time. I appreciate the likes of Gocha Kokorocha, Chris Ngege. People, I'm telling a man, people that realize that it's high time we go into the mainstream of politics and take what belongs to us. General Buhari did a very wonderful job yesterday too. By attending this program, I'm making it very clear that his government is willing to do what it's supposed to do. Before the death of Odumegwu Ojukwu, Ojukwu was a strong ally of General Buhari.
There's no doubt about it. You know, but because PDP said election in the Southeast, they cheated us. They had all what it takes to be able to transform the Southeast. They didn't do anything. But we have seen a man that has gone within 2 years. So many projects are going on in the Southeast. Why should we discard him? Because of our so-called politics of religion and what have you. So it is our time the Igbos realize that this is our time to be able to take up the mantle of leadership in Nigeria by turning FPC in full force.
Okay.
And take what belongs to us.
We got to first time, yeah.
Okay,
take what belongs to us.
That's
What belongs to Ndigbo here?
What belongs to Ndigbo is the same thing that belongs to all Nigerians. The Igbos are not a unique or special kind of people. We are in the struggle in Nigeria like every other Nigerian. So we have to struggle and get something out of it. That's when we talk about...
But you play ball.
Why are we still struggling?
But you must play ball so that the struggle becomes a lot less.
That's it.
The struggle. Life is... No. When I say struggle, I mean
I'm
struggle
using
for
it loosely.
power.
Okay.
Struggle for power.
For power, okay.
You don't fold your hands and watch events and complain of being marginalized. You get in there, it's your country. You're not a slave. You're not a foreigner. So whatever the rest of the people are doing to strike it big, do the same thing. Nnamdi Kanu is a miscreant. He's an irresponsible man. In one of my write-ups, I called him a clownish, big-headed fool. So he... I'm sorry,
Tochukwu, please.
I'm talking about my right.
No. But you must be guarded and guided in your utterances. But because you are capable of doing so.
Okay.
Okay, go on.
But the thing is that he's not somebody we go by.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, no one group of people talk with one voice. What people are looking for is consensus. The Hausa Fulanis do not speak with one voice, but they have a consensus. The Yorubas do not speak with one voice, but they have a consensus. The Igbos do not speak with one voice, but they lack a consensus.
Good.
Which is where the problem is.
Because we have no leadership. And the leadership we had in the past was destroyed, and nothing has been put together to replace it. And if people have no leader, like the Bible said, you smite the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Oh, so that's the problem. But we can get the right leadership with political foresight.
So Ndigbo at that point might become easy pickings for
Now,
the wolves.
What defines a people?
Yeah.
Language. Now what defines people? If you come to Southwest, language defines. By the time you enter from Ore, you have a different people.
Well, you're winding down.
Yes.
Because
when you from Asaba, down the bridge, down you have another people. From there you have the north, the middle belt. What defines us is the language. Yorubas, the Hausas, the Igbos. Now we are talking about political parties that define people. Igbos, as we talk, don't have any political party that defines them.
So they need one.
They need one.
No, I must pause you here. How do we close?
Oh, the Anambra election, that's the central topic. I'm very optimistic about the election. INEC over the years has proven that they can do an outstanding job if they want to. Sure. And I think the police is out to get their job done right too, with 26,000 policemen at work and the earlier withdrawal of Obiano's APC, which was well intended, although it was misread, but it was for the best interest of the state. So there might be irregularities here and there, but I think overall we're going to have a wonderful election. Who wins, that's for the people to decide. Yeah.
Okay, then we'll leave it there for the morning, not before thanking Tochukwu Izukama, a proud Anambra son.
Yes, you got it.
And a neighbor, a proud neighbor, is Ziggy Ibe, Enugu State.
A pleasure being here.
Okay, so one message as we make to close this morning: Ndigbo need to close ranks because when they are united, they can face a common, in quotes, enemy. Our job is done. We leave the rest to you. Ours is to provoke the debate and, of course, allow you to make up your minds. Thank you for your time. I am Jones Usen. Bye-bye now.